Greetings everyone. This video today is talking about the Bantu tradition that you can still do in USA. And this Bantu tradition is the one that's closely related to the Revelation 7:9, where they're wearing white robes or blankets. In the Bantu translation says blankets. So wearing those white blankets with the sticks on their hands. That's what that 7:9 is saying. So that's a Bantu tradition currently done today to graduate boys to men. And it's a couple of weeks ceremony. So I'll take you through it today and what are the things that you can still do in USA. You don't have to be in the villages or in Africa to do this. You can still align yourself with the scripture, okay? So I'm trying to show you now in this video. So I got a video out there that I'm putting a little bit of more detail about this ceremony where I titled Covenant Sign Changed. And the point of this video, in as much as it's explaining what happens in this ceremony, the point of the video was to just show the Bantu people that they shouldn't do the 8-day thing. What's 8-day thing? Watch the video so you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, so even the fake Jews are doing this. They call it bar mitzvah. So there is a graduation from boys to men, but it's a ceremony that is done by the Bantu, and the fake Jews have copied it as well, calling it bar mitzvah. Now, in the Bantu tradition, it's done in winter when it's cold. So it's usually June in Africa when it's cold. So in the States, you will have to do it in December when the school breaks, okay? So that 2-week, 3-week school break, you can fit it in there. Right, so I'm gonna break it down to you what exactly is involved in the original way, in the traditional way, so that I can show you what exactly you can do in the USA that is going to be parallel to exactly what is being done in the Bantu communities today. Okay, now here, the first one, number one, they build the boma. Now this is not what you in the USA is gonna do. I'm just showing you the original one. Then I'm gonna show you how you can mimic, how you can do exactly the same thing in USA. Okay, with the resources you have. So one, we build a Roma. The Bantu people build a boma, something called boma. The boma is it's a temporal dwelling that is built out. Now you have to understand that every Bantu tradition is mimicking the scripture. Okay, I must repeat it. Every Bantu tradition is not just tradition. It's something that is showing you, is revealing you part of the scripture. Okay, so this is one of them, as you show Revelation 7:9 over there. So build the boma for the boys. So this boma is a temporal dwelling that is built outside your home. You have to leave. The boys have to leave his home. So he's built this temporal dwelling outside. Sometimes it's a mountain or out in the field or somewhere else, but it gotta be away from home, okay? So that's the boma, that's number one. So who builds that? The community, the men or whoever else, they build this. Females are not supposed to be involved in all this, okay? Yeah, right. Number two, so this is a 2 weeks course. So the boys who now is December school break, they gotta be between the ages of 16 to 18. I thought I had it here. Yeah, the ages is 16 to 18. They're qualified to get in here. But some bunch of people, you know, put in 15. You know, Sonin is flexible, okay? Because he's the one who prescribed this, by the way. So now, 16 to 18, they start going up there, okay, to the boma to stay there. Now, they don't stay on their own. They stay with a man called Ikanga. It's like somebody a man who's experienced, who's gone through all of this, who knows what should happen in there. So he lives there with them, okay? It can be just one boy or two boy or a group of, but they will live with that man called Ikangata. Okay, Kangata, that's the man who lives over there with them and teaches them every day for the duration of that 2 weeks. Okay, they're staying there. And whatever they're using there, it's got to stay there. They cannot come back. So the people who cook and bring the food, they give it to the kangata. The kangata is the one who interacts. So the females will be cooking, yes, but not over there. And then the kangata will take the food for the boys and bring it to the boys to eat. Okay, so females cannot get into the boma area. That's what I'm explaining. So you have to understand this. People in the USA, you have to understand this first to have the right background, so that when I show you what you can do here, you already know what it is, that background, because the background is the one that's going to happen in future. Okay, when this whole Western thing is gone, Sonin is going to reinstate his traditions, and this is one of them. Especially okay, let me not go into traditions, but this is one of them. All right, so now The other important thing, when they are in the boma, they have to be covered in white. The English is calling robes. These are not robes, it's blankets. So they have to cover in white blankets, as you can see over there. Bantu still keeping it. Especially the Xhosa people are really keeping this tradition really good. So you can copy there. So they got, now whatever part of the skin is not covered by the white blanket has to be covered by a lotion, a white lotion. Now, what is the lotion that's usually? It's usually it's called calamine. Okay, I'll show you a picture of it. Or you can use a face painting. As long as it's white, everything has to be white. Okay, white. All right, there is a symbolism behind this. There is something, because whatever Sonini does, there's a meaning behind it. So in as much as Bantu is doing its tradition, there's a meaning, a message carrying with it. All right, so and then number 3, when the 2 weeks is over, they have to burn that boma with everything that was in there. They have to burn it completely to the ground, okay? Now you're already asking, you're saying, well, we're going to burn. I'm going to show you what you can do, all right? I know this is illegal to burn stuff in Western, but in the villages, in the Bantu areas, this is done exactly like this, okay? So they have to burn that, and then now it's time to go home, right? It's 2 weeks over. Now, number 4, they're coming back now after 2 weeks. So everybody knows. It's not a surprise. Everybody knows they're coming. So when they come, that's when the Revelation 7:9 is talking about, where they're covered in white robes and having those. So this is more like a graduation now from boys. They've done the 2-week course. So that graduation to manhood. Okay. So they're covered in those, they're passing over. So they're covered in those white robes, white blankets, I keep saying robes, and having those sticks on their hands, okay? And the people, singing to them as they come in a single file, okay, in a little line, right? That's number 4. And then number 5, now as part of number 4, there's a celebration, eating, cooking, there's meat, it's like a cookout, kind of, all right? So that's part of that celebration, and people bring gifts. That's part of that number 4. Bring gifts, because now here's another important thing that happens between number 4 and 5, right? The gifts are things that are new, because now remember, the boy who is graduating from boy to man, he cannot use the old things that he was using at home, okay? So his old clothes, his old everything has to be burned, okay? Now, that boma, when it burns, a lot of people say, no, the boys have to take all their possessions and put them in that boma and burn with them. Or they have to get rid of them when they get home. It don't matter, but the point is they cannot use. They have to get rid of all their clothes, all their shoes, everything that they were using when they were boys. Okay, they have to get rid of it, throw it away, literally. Okay, easier if they burn it with a boma, right? So that's what number 4 is happening. And now, as part of that ceremony, when they come back, then they get new things. They get new gifts. That's called Megiddo. So it's put in the plains, like in the front porch. It's called plains, okay, in the front porch. So people put gifts, furniture. This is big stuff, because his bedroom cannot be using the same furniture he was using when he was a boy. Okay, so the plains of Megiddo, like the front porch of the front yard, that's where all the gifts are placed. So people are presenting themselves to the young men coming. Okay, so that part of the ceremony is called the Megiddo. And them coming out, like in that single file, is called Mphumo. So they're coming to Puma is to come out in Bantu language. So that's a Puma. They're coming out, and then Megiddo is when they give. Giddo is to give a present. Okay, put it out there. You are getting it in the plains. You're putting it down. So they get all the new stuff, new clothes, new furniture, new everything, okay? Even spoons, cups, and everything else, okay? Why? Because they have to use those going forward, right? For the next 3 weeks. You see that 3 weeks there? They have to use those exclusively, right? The whatever new things that they've been getting, they have to carry on. Okay, the old one they got rid of it anyway. So now here's another most important thing, number 5. They have to dress up for the next 3 weeks after the Megiddo ceremony. They have to dress up in those. It's like a semi-formal kind of a wear where the shirts have to be collared, and they have to be a jacket. Now remember, it's winter, so this is easier. So the jackets and the collared shirt. They cannot wear wife beaters. They cannot wear all kind of casual stuff. Okay, so that's what that part is. Now, so number 5. Now let's come back to how the U.S. can do this, right? Okay. Now let's first look at number 1. Number 1, you will not be able to do a bomber, right? So let's look at what can be an alternative if you're in the USA. So it can be your house. Okay, you can use your house, not your whole house be a bomb and you burn it. I'm gonna take you through it. So now your house, your room can be a bomber. Within your house, you can set aside your room. I mean, it's your bedroom anyway. So set aside that bedroom of yours to be your bomber. So that means no females, your mom, sisters, nobody female can enter that room, okay? Because it's your bomber, right? So this is the condition. So you can stay at home under those conditions. 1. No females can go in there. You cannot interact with them. You cannot share. You cannot go to the kitchen at the same time they're going. So you have to set up some times where they know the boy. Now there's a title to this boy when he's still in that phase. He's called a queta. It's called a queta. Okay. I'm making it easy for you. It's called a queta. So when the queta, the boy is still a queta. So that means he's staying in a bomber. He's still staying in this room. So he cannot interact with females. So the dad in the house or a male figure in the house, stepdad or whatever it is, he can interact with him. Okay, but no females. Now females, mommy, whoever, she can cook. But she cannot cook the same. She cannot use the utensils for the boys. The same utensils that are for everybody else in the house. So the household has to separate. Has to have the boy the queta spoons, the spoons, his utensils, plates. He has to have his own things that he gotta use. But the spices and the food is shared. It's the household shares. Okay, like they cook, like in the original way. The cooking is done at home, and then the food is brought up to the kangata, and the kangata takes it to inside the boma. So that's the same thing, but you're doing it at home. You understand it. So ask questions if you don't understand any part of it. So, mommy, everybody, female, cannot interact. So you set up a time. The young boy in the house is gonna come out to the kitchen, get some snack, water, juice, whatever you wanna get. So he can alert the females. He's coming out, or there can be a rule in the house to say at a certain time between 12 and 1, for example, whatever time you designate, to say, okay, he can only come out from his room to get snack or to get whatever, because he should get whatever at those times, and the females have to clear all that area, okay? But the male can be around, right? His own towels, his own everything else, okay? His food got to be prepared separately. Oh, that's another thing. So when I say separately, it can be same pot, but it can be the same food, but it got to be prepared with his own parts, his own things. Okay, you get it now, right? So that's number 1, and then number 2. Let's look at which other part we haven't covered. All right, so that's number 1 in the boma. Now, the 2 weeks course can happen. We're number 2 now. The 2 weeks course can happen at home. Now, what's involved in that 2 weeks is, how to be a man. You have to respect the elders. You cannot do this with a man. There's a whole lot of things that can be said in that 2 weeks. Now, in the USA, you cannot do that in the boma, of course, okay? But the boma is in the room, right? So that can be done by either the stepdaddy or a designated male figure or somebody who knows what will happen. There are men in the community that just know stuff. So he's the one. They can designate one. It got to be one. It cannot be multiple changing. For the duration of the 2 weeks, it got to only be one person. So they choose that person, that man who's going to keep coming into the boys' room and at a certain times. It can be every other day or whatever. I mean, you all decide. So come and teach the boys the talk. They call it the talk. To have the talk with the boys, okay? So now, the talk can be anything. Can range, don't put your hands up, just to warn him maybe about this whole police crime, this police shooting. Don't drive around in a wife beater. I put in a little list over there. I saw it online. So this is something that probably could be covered as part of that, because that talk is involving everything. That boma talk involve everything, can be anything, cannot walk in a wife beater. Maybe this look is intimidating the police as well. So it can be anything, okay? I just threw in some few things over there, right? So you can pause the video and just read through this yourself and see what else can be, involved in. Mummies, females are not involved in this whole thing. Boys are not told by mummies, are not counseled by mummies, okay, or females in the boma, right? This is the tradition, right? So now we done number 2, right? We done in the 2 weeks. So we're stepping into number 3. So the boy has gone through the course. He understands what he's supposed to do when he comes back to the real world again. So, but he's in his room. So his world is now. Here's another thing about this room. He cannot leave his bedroom. I repeat, he cannot leave that bedroom for whatever reason, except, going to the kitchen. He cannot leave the house and leave and go check out a friend or whatever. He has to stay in that boma for 2 weeks, 2 full weeks, all right? Go into the house, get some snack or whatever else, or if there's stepdad or whatever, the male figure is not around to bring it to him, all right? But he cannot leave the house, go to Walmart or anything. No, that's not allowed, right? Now, in an emergency, if he's sick, okay, emergencies we put an exception for. But he cannot leave, no, for any other reason. Now, we're in number 3. Number 3 is when now 2 weeks is over, it's time to go home. Now, the go home, now what is the go home? Because you're already home, right? That's the question. Now, what you do is you come out of your room, right? Come out of your room. Let me see, where is this? Yeah. So you can, before you go home, okay, now that's the burning, right? Excuse me. So we number 3 is the burning before you come home. The burning. So the burning, what you do, because you're at home, you cannot burn anything, right? So the best thing you're going to do is to take all the stuff and donate it, right? Give goodwill or, wherever you want to donate it to. So you donate it away because burning is going to be, not permitted, in communities in the USA or some modern world out there. So you cannot do burning. So you donate all your stuff. Take all the stuff. Your furniture, they got to take it. I know it's like, your furniture. Yeah, you are 16 to 8. You're 18 to, you're 16 to 18, right? You're 16 to 18. So anyway, those that bedroom suite of yours, probably you got it when you were still like 8 years old, still got Spider-Man. So you might as well get rid of it, right? So there you go. Your furniture, everything gotta go, right? Donate it. You don't have a boma to burn it, so you gotta take it out. Take it away. Burn it. Not burn it. Give it away, all right? Donate it. Now, parents, be motivated because this donation is tax write-off as well, so modern ways. But yeah, so the point is to get rid of this, okay? Now, number 4, you burn that. You're ready to come back home now, right? We are in number 4. Hold on. Okay, where's my slides? Now, what happens when you come back? Now, you're in USA, right? So people are going to bring gifts, and there's going to be that Megiddo celebration because you're in Puma, right? You're Puma, you're coming out. So now, depending on the budget, this is what usually happens in the Bantu communities in Africa. So depending on the budget, some people separate them Puma to Megiddo. Okay, they say Puma, one involve a whole lot of celebration and gifts. People are still saving up money. They don't have money to buy furniture and stuff, So the Megiddo is where the gifts, the new stuff, the new furniture, new clothes, new everything is brought about. Okay, so Puma, so the boy can Puma, right? Because 2 weeks is over, ain't nothing else he can do. He got a Puma, right? But the problem is there's no money to buy him the furniture or anything. So they separate the Megiddo to be a later when everybody got money to buy the stuff. And they do the Puma first, right? But if you got the budget to plan this whole, ahead of time, the boys can Puma, and then Megiddo can be in the same day, okay, or same weekend. Right? So to say they Puma, they come out. So when they come out, so he will come out of his room now. He's in his room, right? So he comes out of his room, and then there's people bringing gifts, and everything is put out in the lounge and common area, so he can actually see. These are all mine. He can see his new Jordans, everything else that he had dreamed of. Everybody brought some gifts for him, and some furniture. Okay, everything is just there, right? So people cook, you can see what's going on in here. So then the boys are seated, the boys or boys, it can be a community, a group of boys, or it can be just your son. So the boys are seated down. So whoever is going to be advising them now, because in that 2-week course, it was only just one person, right? Now, when they puma, it can be a lot of elders, even pastors can come, talk to the boys, say some words to these kids. They're men now, right? They've done the 2-week course. They're done. So they're men. So boys seated, advisors, counselors, pastors, and they speak to the boys. Now, there's something I need to just talk about here. I did cover it in the other video that I was talking about, but I need to just reiterate it here. Now, the circumcision part, where they cut the foreskin, that part is supposed, I must say it again, it's supposed to be done when the boy is still a baby, 8 years old baby, all right? That's how anatomically our Father even created it, to heal very fast when he's 8 years old. But Bantu people, I don't know how they lost it. They do that cutting of the foreskin as part of this 2-week course in the Boma out in the mountains, which is totally wrong. A lot of boys get sick over there. Means a whole lot of men. You can watch my other video. But in the USA, which is good. In the USA, they actually do cut the boy when he's still a baby, which is the good part. I don't know whether it's 8 days or what, but they cut the foreskin when the baby is still in the hospital. Yeah, I think they do it in the 3rd day or 2 days or whatever, something. But it got to be done when the kid is a baby, 8-year-old baby, right? That's what it is. But anyway, so at this point in the USA, you will already have been circumcised. So you don't need to be doing the circumcision in your bedroom, in your whatever. That part is already done, okay? Now, the boys come out from his room, and then they advise the pastors, the advisor, counselors, elders. They speak to the boy, advise him about how to be a man. You must respect your mother. You must do this, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, mothers, females, aunts. They're not involved in all of this. They cannot tell the young man. They cannot advise the young men. And young men cannot receive from the females. That's just tradition. Cannot receive counsel from the females. He's a young man now, right? When he was a boy, yeah, the mummies can tell him what to do. A little bit of spank here and there. But he's a young man now. That cannot happen. So the man, the counselors, advisors, elders, whoever is a male, sit down the boys, speak to the boys, okay, about how life in general, how to be a man and all that. And now as part of that, the boy will get new things. Like like I said, everything got to be new, completely new, because he cannot wear what he was wearing at all, completely, right? So now this is the part that if there's no budget yet, the boy is Puma. He's suddenly here. It's 2 weeks. Oh, he's here. We didn't plan for this money. Now you can separate these parts, but the most important thing, he gotta have at least clothes to wear for a couple of weeks. Because I'll show you, for when he comes out for the next 3 weeks, he has to wear certain clothes. He cannot wear just anything for the next 3 weeks after the Puma. Okay, when he comes out. Now, that clothes he has to wear. You must plan for it, okay? But the furniture and everything else, he might end up just sleeping on the floor for the time being, whatever else. But the most minimum requirements he has to have, okay? But if you had the budget, like I said, then you might as well do the Mugito as well. People bringing gifts and everything else, okay? Now, I know the boys will love this part. Okay, where we are. So we covered number 4 and then number 5. So number 5 is this 3-week thing I was talking. So when he comes out from the Puma, he has to be dressed up like this for the full 3 weeks. Right, he has to dress up in collared shirt, jackets, shades. Now, in the USA now, this can happen right here in the USA. He can dress up just like that. You can see there, Dwayne Wade and that boy, they are wearing this. So you can wear it in the USA. Dress up like that. You see, now, the thing about it is, Sonini specifies white, okay? Gotta be white or shades of white. You can compromise to that level. But then the Bantu people go as far as beige and darken it because it's in the villages, dust over there. So Sonini, he looks at it, but, as long as your heart is trying to get there, okay? In the States, you don't have a reason not to wear white. You can wear off-white or cream, at least, not dark. Because you're not in the village where there's dust and everything else going on. Okay, but For the 3 weeks after the Puma, you have to wear hat and a collared shirt, okay? Off-white. Whatever you're wearing, gotta be off-white, okay? There you go, 3 weeks. Now, here's one important thing, is females are not to have any intimate relations with him. Now, I'm talking about his girlfriend, his little, whatever else he had going on before he went to the Boma, or his bedroom, who is his Boma in the bedroom. Those girls, he cannot have, okay, it's not up to him. He's good, he's fine. But the females should avoid him. It's up to the females now. Okay, they have to avoid any intimate relations with him for that 3 weeks. All right, because why? He's still burning off his old soul ties. All right, because now this is a Passover from old to new. Right? As you know, even the Passover ceremony, Passover is about getting rid of completely everything old, and you pass over to the new, right? Now, this part of the 3 week dressing up like this is to condition your soul. You know, when you're wearing suit and when you're wearing wife beater, they're totally different behavior. Something affects your soul because of how you're dressed up, right? So, and I'll repeat this part. When you're wearing a wife beater or we're wearing a casual, whatever casual, okay, wife beater just comes to mind, wearing a do-rag and the wife beater. And when you're wearing a suit, your behavior becomes different, okay? So that's something that has to do with your soul, your tie, your inner self. Because now here, you are cleansing that inner part. You're trying to reinstate this inner part that's reflected by when you're wearing suits, you're wearing formal, you're wearing, when you dress up like this, you're trying to implant a certain type of behavior in your soul. I don't know if you understand me. So you're getting rid of that old one, right? For 3 weeks, you have to dress up like this, right? And when you're dressed up like this phase is called, you are called a koala. Koala. Now, I know a lot of people don't know how to say this, but in Bantu language, it's called a koala. Koala. It's going to be like something is in your throat. You're koala, right? So you're a koala in here, right? When you're in this phase, in these 3 weeks. Females, no, run away from the koala. A koala is not going to avoid you because it's not up to him. He's getting rid of his things, but you don't want to catch them, right? 3 weeks. Avoid him. Right, so see, and that's called old soul thing, whatever darkness that he had in his soul, that he's trying to get rid of, is called klopoia. I know it's a lot of words I'm giving you today. Klopoia, so he's trying to get it off with klopoia. It's klopoia. Yeah, that's what it's called. Still remember. So now you don't want to catch that, you little girlfriend. Okay, whatever you had fiance, at 18 you don't have fiance, but whatever he had going on, right? Okay, now because when he was in the Boma, he literally burned the physical things. Now here, he's burning out the inner soul ties, lack of better words. Okay, I hope you understand this. So ask me if you have questions. So you can do this here in the United States. You have no excuse, no reason not to do this part. Especially it's a reference in the Revelations as one of their Bantu traditions that that will be carried on forward. If it's in Revelations, it will happen. I mean, it's showing the future. Let me just say it like that. Right? Okay, bye.